there is a video trending of a Nigerian woman from diaspora that her husband died and she went home to bury him. And the woman had to walk over the grave, for a few times. And people are asking questions that this is tradition, but what about the men? And I've been discussing with Tico here, as you heard me say, is this tradition set by men? I want to ask both of you as men of high traditional caliber. What do you have to say? What do you have to say about this practice?
Let me say something. Traditions are made by men, and then you see, when a man dies, it is always clear that the women kill them. But what about when the woman died? Nothing happened. It has been a case of a situation, it's backward anyway. I have to say to you, it's backward because I've had a very nasty experience when I was younger. I think I just got married, went back, and somebody died, a young man died on a road accident, apparently. And the lady the body was taken home, and the lady was made to suffer. But we thank God for the Assistant Commissioner of Police who was with us in my church then. Yeah. We went there. Otherwise, this woman would suffer. When they were trying to make the woman to drink the water that I used to bath this person. And this young lady just gave birth. And she was pregnant. The first child was about a year, 2 months. And she was pregnant with another child about 4 or 5 months. So it is backwardness. It is made by men. It is draconian. And I don't think it's not something. But it is made by men. When woman die, nothing happened. They say woman die. But a man don't die. It's not fair.
Musa, we've heard Edwin. Let's bring awareness to these old traditions that maybe not adding up. What do you think?
Thank God Edwin Igwe is a civilian. His Republican views are fine, but I'm also happy that he's saying it for radio purpose. Tradition remains tradition. It will not change. Even in England, I've seen a couple of traditions. Benin is even better. Why? We are traditional people. I'm a high chief, and that puts me in a better position to understand. Unfortunately, intrusion of the media has led to this invasion of privacy. Is it right to think about women, not men? I will say no comment. Moving on from there, they should leave tradition alone because it will not change. When the queen died, the same views were expressed. They want media this, media that, and traditional took place. You saw the coronation of King Charles. At a certain point, it has to change. And I bring that word to play here. At a certain point, we have to leave traditional views alone. It cannot be changed on media. It cannot be changed by mere educated people like Igwe. It will remain tradition. And in African culture, Nigerian culture, the voice of the male is heard louder than that of the man. And the woman. Thank you.
I want to say here, as the children are growing up, Musa, they are questioning tradition. And tradition is now like a law. Even if it's wrong, it stays as law. And that's not fair.
Modern generation or younger generation to understand where we are coming from. We cannot scrutinize tradition at this level because there's so much to be desired. A lot of stuff are not explained. Because they are not explained, it becomes a little bit archaic, a little bit outdated.
Thank you. From
the eyes of those looking at it. But I think it's alive and kicking. Even in England, you can see you saw what happened in the church. At that point, when a civilian becomes an anointed one, then the word civilian is deliberately used to say you are not in that circle, you are not in that realm. That is why I use that word. And I just think we should learn from what is happening. Even in church, there's a tradition. In school, there's tradition. In the family, there is tradition. Why will...
hold on, Tico is saying, Tico wants to say here before I call the lady. Tico, go for it.
Yeah, Mr. Musa.
Yes.
Yeah, there is tradition. Even the way we've been highlighting the traditions like in the UK, when we look back, we will see that a lot of things too, they have modernized it.
Yes.
Now, like this issue of maybe male, female,
Yes.
things in their tradition,
Yes.
they have really changed.
Yes.
So they did not say that part that they say, oh, okay, it's not. They can see that it's not working or is derogatory to women, and they now say no, they are not changing it because it's tradition.
Yes.
So we are not saying that the whole tradition should be like overhauled.
Wonderful.
It is for us to look at the ones that works, and the one that is not, it doesn't have any value. We should just. I don't feel anything wrong in it, and I'll put it aside because once we continue in this mentality of I would say putting women down, it that becomes difficult for us to even include them in building a nation together because we've already put them at the back seat.
Yes.
Edwin, Musa, I want you.
I need to respond to that.
Respond to that.
Teko, you are very correct. The starting point is the tradition is not an attempt to put down women. The starting point, if I have my way, is domestic violence against women. If you resolve that, then the judiciary in Nigeria should start respecting women. We also should be educating our children about our tradition. That will make a lot of changes. Thank you.
Edwin, everything to add here because I'm going to call Josephine and Esosa now.
Yeah, no more important because I'm saying that when the women are made to pass through that, generally we have traditions in everywhere, marriages and tradition. But like Musa said, like Trico said, most of those things that look oppressive to the women should, and not only women, there are things that are not contemporary should be removed. That's what I'm saying. Because like when the woman was made to walk through the grave or whatever, or drink the water, he's merely giving assurance that she had no hand in the death of the man. That's what they're saying.
So why
the way it's carried out, that is the question. Like the process, we should have to be able to look at this person. So like the person drinking the water, killing the dead. We are actually giving the woman a kind of a chemical, some kind of disease to drink.
Yes. Okay.
I want to say this, and even let's say, the tradition is the tradition, the way they say tradition. Now, if it applies to both male and female, then it seems like it's fair.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. When the wife died, the man
also has to drink dead body water.
Yeah, drink dead water. But now, if it's not like that, then something is wrong.
Please.
Yes, gentlemen, I think you are both right. But what is happening is when we introduce open education to our tradition, I'm sure those changes will embrace all this ignorance.
Yes. Hold on a second. I'll come back to you. I'm getting the ladies on the phone. We want to hear how they feel about this practice, and then I'll call Maria Ogigua and I'll come back to you, Edwin. We want to hear about your escapade with LBC. Stay with us, please. Okay, Edwin, I will be back. Let me go. You see now that we're talking this issue, it is true. It is a one-sided tradition written by men, made by men, service men, because it's not nice when we're talking something serious. We must start from somewhere. We have to start from somewhere. Good morning, Josephine.
Morning, Nate. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, not so bad.
I'm getting a Sosa on the other line. You've heard us discussing this morning this tradition about especially in Nigeria. I saw that woman, walking past her husband's grave, and she's from the diaspora. As a woman, do you feel Nigerian traditions are made for the men, or are you okay with it if you've had the time to think about it?
Well, looking at back then when I was growing up, I saw these things. But looking at it now, I believe, it's supposed to be a two-way thing, not a one-way thing. A woman, them telling a woman to drink the water of the husband, as well as when the husband died, as well as walking over the husband's grave and everything. Honestly, I really don't understand why a woman who is grieving, who is in pain, will be picked up to do all sorts like that. Yes?
Yeah.
But the tradition that I know while I was growing up, I do know that when your husband dies, the woman is not.
Good morning. Sorry, Sosa has just joined this call. Sosa, good morning.
Oh, good morning,
Good
Les.
Yeah,
Good morning.
please just Josephine is making a point, and we're coming over to you. So please stay with us on the phone. Let Josephine finish. Josephine, carry on.
Yes. Yes. So I have not encountered. I have heard about drinking of the water, walking over the grave, but I've not encountered. What I've actually encountered is when your husband dies, you have to stay awake. You don't sleep throughout the process of them being doing the what's it called now, the
burial rights. Yeah.
Yes, the burial rights. I was told and I learned that if you sleep, that's why you have, relatives come to sit with you over the night, because they said if the woman falls asleep, God forbid, the woman might die as well. So that's, yes. That's why.
Yes, Sosa wants to join you. Sosa, carry on, please. Because we're talking about.
I think I have, because I've seen my godmother did that. The reason you don't sleep on that night is because they've advised that if that woman falls asleep, then people can slip into her sleep and do something bad to her while she's asleep. Now, there are 3 things the woman has to do that night. She cannot sleep, and then she have to stand and swear on top of the dead bodies, the husband's dead body. And then she has to drink the water that were used to wash the dead body, the corpse of the husband. That is the reason why she's been instructed not to fall asleep that night, because something could happen when she's sleeping, and they would think that she has a hand in killing the husband.
So sorry, I want to
come. My explanation of that.
I want to come in and ask you, as Nigerian ladies, how do you feel about these traditional laws? If as Tiku and everybody has been saying, if it was two-sided, the men would do the same thing. I wouldn't question this at all. But it's just women, and how do the women feel about this? That video brought a lot of things to light. But do you have any suggestions to say it is time to try to modernize our traditions?
It is. I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of women became Christians, because our traditional law are favorable to men and not to women. If a woman cheats, a woman is the one that's punished for it. If a man cheats, a man get away with it. If a man dies, the woman does all these things that we're talking about. If a woman dies, no man pays any respect to that woman. So this is the reason why people are steering away from tradition. They are going into religion to
balance it out. Josephine, you're very Christian religious. Is this one of the reasons why you've gone into religion and it's balanced out these traditional norms, myths for you?
I mean, my mom and my dad, they believed in their tradition, but they didn't practice it, because they believe that, having to have the Christendom as well as the tradition, putting it together and practicing it both is kind of like barbaric. So they took out what they wanted to take out and left the rest for the grandparents and stuff like that. And that's how I grew up. Am I saying tradition should be abolished? No, I'm not saying it should be abolished, but the very, very ones that are kind of like, devilish and satanic should be abolished.
Yeah.
You can't do that, and then at the same time you're going to church. I mean, come on, who are you serving? It's either you're serving whatever that I know in the beginning they do all this oloko and
it's been a long time I heard that.
I chose not to follow that route. My grandmother, she was into that, but at her later life, she changed and she became a Christian. She was receiving Holy Communion, and she did away with all those things that, those barbaric things that she used to believe in. But now, as a Christian, looking at it like that, I think, it's just barbaric, it's satanic, and it's not godly, and it should be abolished. That's all I have to say.
Good. So, sir, can I actually hear Josephine? If a woman is a Christian, she's a deacon, do you think it will spare her from all these traditional rites when her husband dies?
If the husband is also a Christian, yes, he does.
When my dad died, my dad was an elder. They still came. You understand? Yes, because when the family comes, I don't know.
I have seen a lot of families where the man is already a Christian, and they can tell that the man is a Christian. The family will not be allowed to do what they want to do because the man has already given his life to Christ, and all of this kind of stuff were actually stopped to the women, and the women didn't have to go through that. I have seen that. However, like I said, a lot of people, I think in my mother's generation, in other people's generation, a little bit generation slightly younger than ours, we're now beginning to get into Christianity so that a man can be loyal to a wife and a wife can be loyal, so that their relationship can be equal partnership, compared to tradition that does not make a man equal to a woman or a woman equal to a man. I think this is what actually encourage Christianity in our society. Am I saying that tradition should be abolished? No, I'm not saying that. But however, like Musa said, I am with Musa on here, there are certain things that we need to look into that we can modify and change slightly, so that women can be included in it and women can be respected as well. Because it does look like Josephine actually said, it does look very barbaric and very, very satanic in a way that women are being preyed on, being oppressed, and make women look like they are not equal to men. That is not godly at all. Regardless whether you're Christian or whatever religion you are from, it is not godly at all, and it is not human at all.
No, it's very.
So I think what we should do is, yes, it's good to respect our culture, it's good to respect our tradition. Our tradition should be favorable to everyone.
With us, let me get those stars and Bakole in here. Thank you, Edwin. Thank you, Musa.
See, as they said about Buhari, retired models, moving around.
Yes.
When you look at when Shagari, when he retired, it was the same thing.
Yeah.
It's their culture.
I have to call a southern guy that has left office. Who do we go for now? Like Lucky Minedio, like Oshomole. You understand? These are unmodest people. If anything, I think if Nigerians, if you don't like anything about Buhari, at least try to emulate his modesty when you leave office, maybe even when you are in office. And we're talking to you, Dino Milai.
It's just a reflection of culture.
Yeah.
Because if we look at the culture of spray money in Nigeria.
Yes.
Where does it happen?
Thank
it happens
you.
In the south.
It's the south.
Yeah, it's in the south. In the north, it's not part of their culture to be.
Well, good.
Hello.
Good morning.
Morning to you.
Good morning, Bakole. How are you? Bakole.
Don't be too quick to celebrate Buhari. Have you seen the powers that he was gifted in Niger Republic? Have you seen the palace he was allegedly gifted in Niger Republic?
But at least it's not that he's the one who built it. It's a gift. Someone just gave it to him.
You're right.
All right, let's go from the top, Bakole. How are you?
I'm all right.
Great. I want to put you in everything we've discussed today, and I'm going to do the same to Osas. Now, let's get down first of all with the traditional rights. Our tradition against the women. The woman from diaspora having to walk over her husband's grave, having to drink water from when they wash the dead body. You heard it, Sosa. You heard Josephine. You heard everybody. Is it time for our traditions to be balanced or updated or modernized? What call it what you want? What do you think?
It's funny when we complain about these traditions and everything. If you've ever experienced this whole process of making the woman do stuff, who are the people that administer those things? Women. Women are the ones that administer it, so we are crying foul. The people who are supposed to be fighting for it are the ones administering this same wicked
practices
on a fellow woman.
Oh, but it's a man that I think it's a man that implements. It's a man that calls the rule. The woman just implements, the rights. I don't think it's the women that.
If a man tells a woman to put in the name of tradition, put your hand in fire. They'll put their hands in fire because.
Bankole, this one is murder. This one is murder. This one, Diko, talk to your friend.
we there was a reason, right? Like I love what my big brother Musa said. He said he's a traditional man, and there's a difference between modern understanding and our tradition. So he has chosen to make no comments on it.
Okay.
I'm not vast in tradition. I don't know what informed that decision, right? But if there's a need for it to be reviewed, yes, fine. I believe there's a need for it to be reviewed. But the question I'm saying is, women are the ones who are complaining, and women are the ones administering it.
Okay.
And that's why I have a problem with it.
Tico, go for it.
In this kind of a situation, it is not every woman that will be against it, and it's not every woman that will be for it.
Yes.
Because now it depends on the belief. And now maybe a woman that is that has adopted like Christianity or Islam now will refuse this kind of a practice.
You are talking about administering, like implementing.
Even administering, the person will not be part of it. The people who are mainly administering, like the woman doing it, it's the women that believe in that practice.
Let me ask you a question.
Because even as they are doing it to that woman, they believe that when it happens to them, that is the same thing they're going to do.
But Bankole, I want to ask you a question. Do you know of any woman that has refused?
A lot of women have refused. I mean, there was one where I was my church then back in the day, that they were insisting that she did all that right, and when she refused because the church stood by her, the family now said, well, the woman should go. That they don't want to see them. That they're disowning them. And the woman
and the woman
understand.
Yeah, and they disowned her.
The woman didn't even go for the husband's interment because the family decided that they didn't want her to be a part of it.
Oh, okay.
Because, once you refuse such right, they will want you to know that there is consequences, because it's like you have broken the rule.
You see. Yeah. Now, okay, Bankole, I'm getting Osas involved in this phone call. We'll come back here. But I strictly want to say, I do believe, tradition or not, just like in England, and Tico said it earlier, most traditions have been modernized, to suit modern times. This woman was from the diaspora, and if you have children and they're looking, this is a barbaric practice, some of it. I know it comes under the realm of tradition, but I think we need some updates in here. But what about the men, Bankole? What do the men do if their wives die?
If their wife dies, they pet them and they give them another wife.
This is the truth.
And it is from this unfairness.
Good morning, Osas. Good morning. Stay with us, Osas. Osas, have you been with us? Stay with us. You're next on this call. Just stay. Bankole is talking, and you're next. Yes, Bankole, carry on.
Well, it's unfortunate, but the thing is, we need to review these things. But those in the realm, like, thank God we have our senior chiefs here with us here. So maybe they can also try and look into these things when they go to the. I'm not a chief, so I'm not in a position to.
That's Musa, Edwin, and people, when they have the meeting.
This time we need to. We're not saying scrap it or totally.
No.
Be able to review it.
Osas,
whether you believe it or not, when they make those decisions or when they make those traditions, they were for a particular purpose.
Okay. Sorry, Bankole, hold on. Osas is on the other line. Osas, Good morning. We're discussing these traditions. That woman walking over her husband's grave from diaspora, women drinking dead body water used to wash the dead as part of traditions, and the men don't do anything. Osas, do you feel we need to update our culture in this regards, our traditions?
Good morning, Liz. Good morning, Tico.
Yes.
Good morning. Good morning.
And good morning to Bankole. I think we have to.
Yeah.
I'm still surprised that people still do practices like that because I've not heard of something like this in a very long time. And don't forget, in terms of tradition, it was the men that made these rules for everybody to follow. It's not just in Africa, everywhere. So that's why I think we need to upgrade, like you said. But there are still very good things about our tradition.
Definitely.
Okay.
And like the lady said, it has nothing to do with religion. If you're a Christian, for example, would it be safe for me to say you're practicing Jewish culture?
No.
Because you cannot separate culture from religion.
No, you can.
You can.
No, you cannot.
But
No,
you
you
see,
cannot.
what the women said is women are now, people are running into religion to escape the culture.
Because that culture, that religion is different from what we are used to. So that's an avenue for them to escape it, yes. But we can modify our own system.
Which is what we need.
To make sure that women can, women don't have to go through things like this.
That's it.
Yeah, that's what we're
Yes, I support that. Yes, we have to modify our system. Yes.
Great. Now, as we move on, there's another thing. We had Maria.